Hello.
Are we audible?
Best intro yet.
Did we nail it?
I think we nailed it. We're audible. We're visual.
Can you hear us?
Everything's going well. The camera didn't die. Everything's coming up Millhouse.
Also,
as they say.
Look at our new setup. Money has been spent. Things have been purchased. I like it. I think it looks very kind of like.
I think it's cool. Like, I dig all the new backdrop. I like, the new light we got.
I like your serial killer glasses.
You like my serial killer glasses?
Yeah.
I think they're not serial killer glasses.
They do kind of give off a Jeffrey Dahmer kind of vibe,
like,
to be honest.
I think they're like a poker player, like, severe...
Poker player?
Severe, computer-bound autism glasses.
Is that the vibe
to
now?
To help shield you from the blue rays of the computer monitor, you got to wear fat fucking yellow lens glasses.
Is that why you bought these? Because you've been because every time we go out to look at glasses, whatever, you've always been obsessed with getting these yellow fucking glasses.
Well, different lenses have different effects on you. So the red lenses or the light red lenses or rose lenses, because you get rose lenses which are too pink. Or you get rose lenses, which are kind of red enough to still be masculine. And those,
I think they're cute. They make the world look very pretty.
Exactly.
And vaporwave.
They are very uplifting glasses. So
yeah.
They make you genuinely a bit happier. It's harder to be depressed when you see everything kind of
rose
nicer.
tinted.
Yeah, exactly. There's literally there's a reason why it's a saying.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the yellow glasses are a little bit of self-defense from the modern way of living and keeping
Jake Schizo glasses.
Keeping my weak biologic eyes intact whilst I have to look at screens all day to do things.
My fucking eyes have been abused then. In that sense.
You don't wear glasses.
I
you should do either.
I do now because I'm working at a magazine, so a lot of my work requires me to really pay attention to detail. And I like kind of the weird nearsighted haze that I have over everything. But now I've got to bring everything into sharp focus. It just makes everything look
slightly vaporwave.
Yeah, it makes everything look very vibey and nice. But I actually have prescription glasses that I don't wear because I feel they age me.
It's not a good habit.
It's for vanity reasons more than anything. The fact that I feel they age me and that I think they make me look ugly, so I don't want to wear them.
That's what upsets me about it the most. It's not about anything else other than just vanity.
What do you mean?
It's no, I don't think I look cute in these glasses.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you do. You look very cute in the glasses.
Oh,
just wear the glasses.
You're sweet.
I would like it so you could actually see me.
I can see you. It's not I can't see you. You're right here. It's things that are slightly far away that I can't see.
You need non-clear vision to be able to be around me.
No, don't be stupid. Well, when you're wearing Jeffrey Dahmer serial killer glasses, maybe.
Does the blurry vision take away the glasses?
It looks I'm not that blind. Jesus Christ. No, but it does look like you're going to force me to sit through a movie and narrate the whole thing.
Yes, with a laser pointer and a book of notes.
Well, I'm glad. I hope you guys do like the new setup. It's here to stay. We might experiment with a few different things. Jake wanted to get one that was an alien smoking a joint. Because he thought it was on brand. And I was dude.
It's very on brand.
No, more on the nose.
I thought it looked cool.
More on the nose. But anyway, let's dive into our topics for this evening. What do we have on our...
Well, we went to go and see Oppenheimer finally.
Yeah.
With our good friend Mary Wild that we had on the podcast a couple of episodes ago. Be sure to check out that episode if you haven't already. Mm-hmm. And she took us to Picture House Central.
Yeah, I got a free ticket. You had to buy your own.
Yeah, because because
I'm connected.
You're connected to the members or whatever.
Illuminati.
The film Illuminati of London.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm friends with Mary. I'm in there.
You're well in.
I'm well in.
But yeah, we went and watched Oppenheimer, and it sort of made me realise I'm actually not the biggest Chris Nolan fan.
Well, I've always known this. I've been noon.
I did mention this when we talked about Barbie. I think I did mention that there's a lot of hype around them as filmmakers when actually when I come to think about it, I'm not really a big fan of
either filmmaker.
Particularly either filmmaker.
Yeah.
But then with Chris Nolan, I was like, oh, but why is that? He's like, I feel like he's made lots of films that I do like, but then realizing, no, it's like just the Dark Knight.
But that's the thing about his films is that the vibe, the hype, the trailers, it's all like designed to make you feel like you're part of a zeitgeist and that he's this really important filmmaker. I don't know.
Honestly,
I'm not like,
I
I'm
thought
not.
Oppenheimer was mid.
Yeah, same here. I thought it was mid.
I thought Oppenheimer was incredibly mid.
Yeah.
I thought it left
there are
a
elements of it that were interesting and that were decent, but to be honest, I think shouldn't have been 3 hours.
No, you could have knocked.
There was a lot that could have been left
easily,
on the cutting room floor.
Yeah,
verdict wise, like I felt like a lot of it was like bloated and like, you know.
But I feel like I had the same kind of aftertaste from Oppenheimer that I had with Nope, where it was like it was this film about something quite interesting
in the zeitgeist
in lots of ways, like around like freedom of speech and, you know, national security and secrecy and the scale of those two and how it should be, and openness with allies that, you know, could then perceived as enemies and all of these sorts of things, like super relevant to lots of things going on today. But then it didn't do anything with those fucking themes. I felt like it didn't do
anything at all with those themes. Same thing with Oppenheimer. I didn't really feel like, I mean, I think it was an interesting character study of Oppenheimer as a person.
That's what I was saying about
But
Oppenheimer.
in terms of,
that about Nope. I was saying that's exactly what Oppenheimer left me with the feeling of.
It was like an interesting character study of him as a person, but in terms of its depth and what it had to say about the current moment we're in, considering the moment we're in is like quite pivotal and almost is the culmination of a lot of the stuff that was sort of set up in that time period. You'd think that the film would have a lot more to say, but it didn't really have that much to say. Same thing with Barbie. The whole gender fucking discourse shit is in the zeitgeist. You think that Greta Gerwig would find an interesting way of commenting on those things. Like the zeitgeist is ripe for commentary. If you're an artist, it's like fertile soil, but it seems as if these films tease at those areas of the zeitgeist purely for marketing purposes, but then within the actual films it's anticlimactic because they don't fucking say anything about anything. And that's kind of what I felt. I mean, it was mid. There were elements of it that were interesting. I thought Frances Pugh's character was like funny because she's like a BPD communist
hoe
who reads Jung, and I was like, oh my god, it's like literally.
Well, they stop fucking to like talk about ideology, or like philosophy or psychology, or something. Like she goes over to the bookshelf, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does.
At that point, they literally are mid fuck, and then they like stop, like, oh, I just had a thought, an intellectual thought about something, and then like went over to the bookshelf, like.
It's pretty hard. I mean, if I could get away with that with you, I would do it a lot more.
Oh my god!
But I feel like you get annoyed.
You'd get punished.
You'd like come back over here
you'd
right
get
now
punished for such
and finish what you were doing.
Yeah, exactly. Terrible.
Finish what you started, and I'd be like, I feel like going on a fucking entire tangent about Jung right now.
How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat?
The pudding is the ideology.
Yeah, but you don't get that
until I've eaten my meat.
Yeah, exactly.
That Frances Pugh's character, I feel like they did her dirty as well, because the woman in who she was portraying, Mary, said that she was like an actual scientist.
Oh yeah,
and they kind of left. Yeah, they left that part. They were like, oh, she's just like a BPD hoe who killed herself because Oppenheimer like.
Well, it's like the same for his other wife as well, where like, she is introduced as a great biologist. And like as quite an accomplished scientist in the same way that Oppenheimer is, but then it proceeds to do nothing but drink in every scene. That
Christopher Nolan notoriously writes women in a weird way. That's been a conversation for a long time. Like Marion Cotillard in Inception was like cartoonishly evil, which I thought was really funny. But then again, not every film has to like pass the Bechdel test. Like I don't really care. That was like the women in the story were the least interesting aspect of it, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I also it doesn't feel like it felt like, you know, you're trying to make it black and white. You're filming it on film. Mm-hmm. You've made this whole like spectacle around the cinema sort of cinematic making process of this film as well. And it just felt like if you were, gonna follow through with that, then really kind of actually follow through with that.
Yeah.
But
there are other aspects of it, like Mary, because Mary really likes the movie. She had seen it before and took us to see it again because she wanted to see it again, partly because Killian Murphy, hot, which you disagree with. You said he looks like a bug man.
I didn't. Yeah, this film
you have
made me realize that he's an ugly man.
You have a straight male idea of male beauty, which is the reason why Killian Murphy is a beautiful man.
No, he's not. He's an ugly man by every stretch of the imagination. There's no two ways about it. He 100% is a
beautiful man. Chiseled features, interesting kind of alien.
He looks like a gecko.
Face.
He looks like his spiritual animal would be a gecko. He's got
leave him
weird,
alone.
goggly eyes.
What about when he was younger? Do you think
dry,
he was
thin lips?
No. Leave him alone.
Death
leave him
himself.
alone. He has this mysterious crypt keeper allure, and I'm here for it.
Crypt keeper. He looks like a skeleton.
Yeah, that's part of the appeal. The sort of skeletal mystery or whatever.
The skeletal mystery.
I don't know.
It's
women,
a different type
women love Killian Murphy. Men don't get it. You don't need to get it.
No,
okay?
some men love Killian Murphy because they love Peaky Blinders,
yeah.
which I can't stand and have never understood. To be honest,
we live in Camden, and there's a Peaky Blinders tourist display thing.
I'm more interested in the Tomb Raider one, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a Tomb Raider one, which is cool. But then there are always Americans around the Peaky Blinders experience thing, being doing Cockney accents. It's oh my god,
and wearing those fucking stupid hats. Even I don't know, my dad wears those hats, and I know he doesn't watch this podcast or ever hear this, so I'll happily rip into him. But those hats are for farmers.
Yeah, he's stealing farmer valor.
Exactly. If you're not a farmer, you're stealing farmer valor, and you should fucking feel a little bit of shame, if I'm honest.
Well, I think it's because he lives in the countryside, but he's
trying to blend in with the other farmers when actually he's a
city slicker.
He's a salary man.
Yeah. City slicker.
That's atrocious.
The thing, I don't know. Killian Murphy, gorgeous. She loved it, and I think part of the reason she loved it was because of the sort of, I guess, character study of Oppenheimer, and also she was sort of talking about the death drive and how, despite him being this character that was full of life and libido, he's a womanizer, he's ambitious, all of these different things, his death drive manifests in the creation of the atom bomb. And it's this she's really into the Freudian idea that everything contains the death drive within it, and it's sort of part of the duality of life, the drive towards life and death, and how
also around why he couldn't spoiler alert, why he couldn't answer the question at the end of his little inquest or whatever, was why are you all of a sudden morally objecting to the hydrogen bomb when you were not morally against the atom bomb? And for him, it's all wrapped up in him, being Jewish and feeling like it was kind of what he could contribute to this great war and bring an end to it and stuff, versus there not really being that kind of threat anymore. And them continually to do it for essentially ideology, because that's what the Cold War was. And what he was proposing, I guess, cynically, it could be seen as a really easy position to take, to invent the nuclear bomb, and then go, but we shouldn't do any more of these.
Yeah.
And this is our chance now to do it. It's quite an easy moral ground to take, but then I guess the thing is that's also quite a shit way of looking at humanity.
That's
an easy moral stance to take, to try and not have nuclear war that kills millions of people, and to see where it's escalating to, and to try and stop it. What an easy route to take. It's no, dude, that's kind of the most common sense route to take, but there's a bunch of meatheads that are making decisions. Or that's certainly how the president was portrayed by Gary Oldman.
Oh yeah.
You feel guilty, you little bitch. It's about me. It's not about you.
That was funny. That was a fun scene. But yeah, I don't know. There's that element of it, the sort of character study of Oppenheimer, the philosophical dimension, the death drive sort of thing. I don't think it went as far as it could have with those themes. especially in terms of drawing parallels to today. But there was the schizo element that you sort of alluded to when we were talking about it with Mary. Do you want to talk a bit about that?
Oh, we can do. Like, I think there was one shot in the film which kind of made me have my little tinfoil hat sparking, which was essentially, I think they would. Mary explained it that she thought it was him putting himself in a story that he had heard someone talk about, where they were in a plane in World War II. And they watched a V2 rocket fly overhead of them.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, that's mental. And like, if they put a bomb on one of those things, like, that's going to be the end of the world. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then him having this kind of like vision or dream when like it's all getting like in like some tense moment for him or something. But there isn't just one light. There's like 5 that zip past him. And he's like married and actually is literally a line in the film as well says it. He was like the founder, mayor, and sheriff of Los Alamos, which is like a really special place in obviously UFO lore, and that potentially
because it's attached to Area 51, isn't it?
Well, I think like there's this like, you know, kind of loose connection, especially in the fact that like, you know, Bob Lazar worked at Los Alamos and then he went on to
Did he work at Los Alamos?
Yeah, that's like the bit of his credentials that nobody can deny.
Was that he actually worked at Los Alamos?
Yeah, that he was there. That everybody knows him. That you know was at Los Alamos at the time when they were trying to check his you know, claims and stuff. They went there and everybody knew him, like the secretary and everyone. Like, so he was just like, you know,
a guy hanging around there.
Well, no, he was a scientist that worked there.
Oh, wow.
On, like, you know, advanced propulsion, because that was what he did. And then he got scouted to work at Area 51.
51, okay. So wait, so Los Alamos, so how is this connected with UFO lore?
Because essentially one of the scientists that he talks about in, you know, that helped on the Manhattan Project is a guy called, I can't remember his first name, but his last name is Fermi. And one of, you know, the big sayings in, you know, the search for alien life is this thing called the Fermi Paradox, which is actually like a thing that he invented at the time when he was at Los Alamos after they'd done the Trinity test. Or I think maybe even after, like, the World War II had ended. It was like, you know, in the late 40s or early 50s. And there's like this famous sort of like shithead saying that kind of gets banded around by people that don't think that, you know, aliens have ever come here and stuff. Which is like, oh, if you know, if alien life exists in the universe, then where is everybody? Mm-hmm. Like, it would be quite easy to see the universe teeming with life, with the tools and technology we have, etc., etc. Even like he was saying that
the same problem that's like presented in Three Body Problem.
At the time that he said this, there were shitloads of UFO sightings going on in Los Alamos, where he was like contracted to stay by the looks of things in this film, and by all means, in like by this, you know, in history and stuff. You're working on that stuff. You were in a town that was built for special black projects, which was the nuclear bomb at the time. Has then gone on to other things, whatever else. Mm-hmm. And after that Trinity test, which was the first ever nuclear explosion on the planet, was then repeated tons of UFO sightings in that area. And a lot, you know, a lot of people say that this is kind of like, it rippled through space. It rippled, like the amount of energy from an atomic bomb is so great that it like sent a ripple through space. So it like said hello to everybody, either intentionally or unintentionally.
Or maybe it's like
mostly unintentionally, right? Is that you've just sent this massive energy burst into the universe, letting everybody know that something's there. Or maybe it's already disturbed something, and that's kind of potentially why you had all of these other sightings and stuff at the time.
Just like in the
but then in the Chris Nolan film, to bring it back to Oppenheimer, when I saw that scene with Killian Murphy in the plane, and there's like 5 lights that just zoom past him above him, I was like, there's gotta be,
aliens.
There's gotta be a little fucking hint like buried in there, because that site is just so.
I doubt it was.
And the topic of nuclear bombs as well is so fucking associated with it.
aliens.
And that site specifically is like ridiculously associated with it. So I wouldn't have been surprised if that was like a really tasteful and artful way of like weaving in a little alien reference.
I doubt it. I don't think Chris Nolan is that like cool and based. But it's super.
I don't think he is either.
No, if it was Ridley Scott, I would say yes. And I'm far more excited about Ridley Scott's Napoleon than I am about this movie. Like, if in terms of like big, great directors, Ridley Scott is somebody who's consistently, and even when he doesn't do great, it's still cool. Yeah. Like, a lot of people really didn't like, you know, the Alien follow-ups. I did. I loved Prometheus.
The director's cut is great. Like, not watching the director's cut does kind of suck.
I don't mind both of them. Even the janky stuff in the theatrical version has a charm to it, and I just like that there's someone experimenting with those schizo ideas in that way. So I'm like, I don't have a problem with it.
Should we check the chat? Yeah, let's
check the chat.
What was it? I thought I saw Sid, but
he's there.
It's Corey B.
Oh, he's changed his name.
Oh, right, okay. Like Corey in the house. I don't know what that's in reference to. But,
oh my god.
Jake's got the drip. I appreciate that.
Oh my god. Don't encourage him. Please, he's wearing like a fucking polyester kimono. A shirt that has a fucking what barcode is this?
That's the barcode of Jeffrey Dahmer when he was sent to prison.
Oh my god.
On death row.
You're so metal. Oh my god.
That was my band's t-shirt from when I was in a metal band.
How metal? You're wearing like an audio nerd hat.
It's a corduroy Neumann hat.
Oh my god. and you're wearing like these weird Jeffrey Dahmer glasses. Please don't encourage him on the drip.
It's the vibe.
I'm wearing a Joy Division sweater. That's my drip for the day.
He said Killian Murphy is a pretty boy. Wrong, but
he is.
We'll read the rest of your comment despite your wrong.
And he's still beautiful even though he's aged significantly.
But he shouldn't keep getting those lip injections.
What are they injecting into his lips? Who says he's getting lip injections?
Pure
That's so not true.
Antimatter? No. That's like sucking his lips in like a lemon? Like,
no. He's not getting lip filler.
There's no way. His lips aren't anything. There's no lips for him to
is he a vain
into.
guy? I don't think he's a vain guy. Like, but he has been kind of like strutting on the red carpet since this film came out. And I mean, he deserves it. I think, isn't this his first role as like a proper leading man, like carrying a film? So I think he's like, actually, no, 28 Days Later was. But I mean, in terms of like massive, giant Hollywood blockbuster, he usually plays supporting characters in those. And this is one of the first times where he's playing like the guy. So he's having fun. Leave him alone. Like, you know.
Someone said Jake is doing his best Dale Gribble impression. Which
Who's Dale Gribble?
100% appreciate that comment.
Who's Dale Gribble?
I feel like Dale Gribble is my spiritual cartoon, warrior.
Who's that?
He is the paranoid crazy.
Oh, the golden shovel guy from Twin Peaks?
No.
Oh, no, never mind.
The paranoid crazy guy with glasses from King of the Hill.
Oh.
He does bug extermination.
Oh, yeah.
He's who has like he's a total cuck, remember? He has like that hot wife.
Oh, yeah.
By the Native American guy.
I remember. Like, I haven't watched King of the Hill in years. I need to like rewatch it all.
Oh, dude.
I'm rewatching Daria at the moment, so.
King of the Hill was absolutely
I gotta rewatch it all.
I was just watching a bit of Fermi. He was brought a great deal of brilliant concepts into the light of day. Yeah, I'm not saying that he wasn't a bad scientist. I think he was a good scientist. What I'm saying was it was very interesting that he would make this like big theory gotcha moment about aliens saying, oh, where is everyone, bro? When he's like at the place that's arguably had the most UFO sightings ever in history, and specifically at the time when he was living there as well. I find that like quite an interesting coincidence, and even the whole nature of the film is around like what should be a secret, what should be open for more discussion, or how open can you make something for scientific purposes actually is kind of like the whole crux of it, which is super relevant to today with what everyone's talking about with the compartmentalization of like these secret black projects and stuff and the UFO shit and everything. It is literally the same fucking energy. It's the same vibe. It's the same topic.
It is. It is. There's so much that's like relevant to now, but they didn't really touch on those things as much as they could have.
Prometheus was rad, correct. Knack for that. Knack for that. Then said also Alien Covenant. You just lost all the points you gained.
No, I didn't mind Alien Covenant wasn't great, but it was still better than most of the films that came out during that time. Like even if Ridley Scott makes a bad film, it's still better than like the majority of shit you're gonna see.
I am probably one of the biggest.
Like I think he deserves his flowers. I don't think Chris Nolan deserves his flowers. Like, I think Ridley Scott deserves his flowers. You got to do the thing. Oh, sorry.
Well, you can do it because you're closer.
No. It's your job.
No, of course not.
It's a Jake job. I'm joking. Ridley Scott, I feel like.
But I'm a huge Alien fan, and I'm like the biggest Danny McBride fanboy in the world. So to have like an Alien film with Danny McBride in it was like, oh my god, this is my dream come true. But then it was garbage, and I was just like, oh, this is a big disappointment.
Oh my god. Should we move on then?
Yeah. We got some news from your favorite boy.
Yeah. Well, it's not news. It's his prediction, basically. His grim prediction for the next couple of months. There's already been sort of panic about new.
Oh no! We were gonna do the Trump mugshot.
Trump mugshot first. Okay,
he's your boy.
How is Trump my boy?
You're always hyping Trump up.
I'm not. I just think that like what's happening to him is like unfair.
I feel like ever since that he had that cheerleading black lady, she died of diabetes. You're like trying to take her place.
Oh my god! You think I want to be with you? Silk and coffee.
Yeah, you want to. Oh, what should be your one? What should your name be?
I don't know.
It would be like caramel or something like.
Fuck off.
Come on.
Fuck right off.
Mercedes.
I feel like no black.
You're Nigerian. The Mercedes works.
I will fucking slap you so hard. Stop it. Stop being bad. What was I saying? No, I feel like you can't say anything about Trump as a black person that's not just like foaming at the mouth without being accused of being like a coffee and silk. But I don't know. I think this whole thing is ridiculous. I think that like, you know, liberals are like acting as if they're fighting crime, and like
we got him. We got the Joker.
Yeah, it's
we
like
got him
so
in custody.
It's literally they're Marvel brained, and they think that like a lot of them think that this like mugshot is like a trophy.
Thanos has been arrested. We can rest easy.
Literally.
Luckily, well, who would Joe Biden be from the Avengers though? He can't be anybody.
I don't watch any of that shit, so I couldn't tell you.
Well, I know superheroes. I don't watch the Avengers.
Like I know superheroes, but like not the way.
Who would Joe Biden be as a superhero? I can't even think. He would be literally the Stan Lee of the Avengers. Like just
the decrepit, like confused old man that like
old
does
pervert.
a cameo.
Like, you know, R.I.P. Stan Lee. But I also know he did a lot of really shitty, bad things and stole from a lot of people as well. So you know, he wasn't just this lovable, wisecracking old man that is.
I just want to remember
Marvel
him
films.
from the Sam Raimi films. I'm aging myself, but that's like the demographic generation that I came from. The Sam Raimi films were what introduced me to the world of superheroes as
those
a child.
Films had corresponding PS2 video games, which were also incredible. It was that era where films still had a mandatory video game made of just the basic story of the film.
Yeah.
And some of them were fucking kick-ass. The first Spider-Man one was great, I thought.
I think my brothers played it. I kind of vaguely remember some kind of PS2 game that they were playing.
I played that one, and then I played Spider-Man 2 when that came out as well.
You played the Harry Potter game, but you didn't even like Harry Potter. You weren't even a Harry Potter kid.
No, but the games are great. I haven't actually played the new one because my computer is too much of a potato to really run the new one properly, I think.
Yeah.
It looks really shit when I run. It's kind of like when I played Cyberpunk. Like my computer's so potato that I'm not even running it at 1080p. I'm like running it at like fucking below that, like way below that.
She's an old gal. We need to sort of replace her, but we've been like putting it off. But you've had her for a very long time, and you're like attached to her. Yeah. You've even called her a her. So like you're like, because you built it yourself. It was the first PC that you like ever built.
Yeah,
so you're
exactly.
like very attached to it or whatever.
But then, you know, I might be able to figure that solution out soon. We shall see. We
Yeah,
shall see.
yeah,
I'm not worried though. I managed to get Ableton working again, so I haven't like gone completely crazy this summer. Like I've been able to do a couple of little bits and stuff, so I haven't lost my mind. But back to Donnie T. Donnie T. We're sidetracking big time.
We're sidetracking big time.
Donnie T.
But it's 'cause there's not much to talk about with this. I think the whole thing is fucking ridiculous.
I think that
that they're fucking criminalizing him because he's gonna run again, and he has like an animated base. And this is only going to empower him, in my opinion.
Of course, he used this as a literal photo opportunity. Look at him.
He's literally giving blue steel.
He has practiced this pose like so many times. I bet he even probably like got a setup where like he replicated the setup of taking a mugshot.
Yep.
So like the camera they use, the normal the light they use, all the stuff, and he's like, let's do it.
He's looking kind of gaunt and skinny though. Like he looks like he's not looking well. Like
he was looking kind of fat when he was president.
Yeah, like we were watching Tucker Carlson the other day when Donald Trump was on, and even though like he seems like his spirit has been broken a little bit, if you know what I mean. Like the glowies and like the deep state people coming after him seems to have kind of like, you know, I guess made him more, I guess, insular in a way. He's not as animated as he was.
I don't know.
He's low energy, as he would say, and he's low energy, as he would say, and he's also looking gaunt in the face. Like all this prosecution shit is like stressed him out to the maximum. Yeah,
I also think like it's just like the task that he set out for in 2016, I think was wholly self-promotional.
Yeah,
I don't think he really intended to like become president.
No.
And then it happened.
Yeah.
Because the system is so inadequate that people actually gave a game show host the fucking chance to become president. The job.
And the thing is, ever since that happened, the sort of liberal establishment has been trying to sort of clean up after the mess, make itself look more competent than it actually is, and also demonize at Trump, like make him seem like some kind of arch Satan. Mm-hmm. So that they can like kind of force people and shame people into continuously voting for them and protecting their interests and their institutions.
I'm not excited. I'm not gonna lie. I am not excited at the idea of the American election cycle.
Neither am I. It's exhausting.
You know, it's 18 months before the election and like all of the stuff. It's fucking
exhausting.
It's going to be a lot, and I also am terrified of the outcome either way.
I don't give a shit. I'm not even terrified. I'm so indifferent.
Not terrified. It's the kind of indifference, but also just like it's not going to be good either way. Do you know what I mean? Well, I haven't got any hope out for like, someone's going to get in there. Even then, like a good idea.
Even then, the thing that makes me the most disgusted about this is it's such cowardly tactic to attempt to criminalize someone rather than beating them. They know that they don't have anything that they can offer substantially that will beat the sort of animated base that he has. So instead they're doing all this dirty underhanded shit. They're going to continue to do dirty underhanded shit. It's going to be a clusterfuck, and it just shows like, I don't know, I'm not looking forward to having to sit through fucking months and months of discourse on this shit.
Like a part of me would love Trump to win just to like sock it to the libs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Big time.
Because like that will be funny.
Yeah, big time. Well, not only that, he's the only one talking about like ending the war. He's the only one who's talked about the war in negative terms and hasn't talked about it in this sort of rah military industrial complex way. Silicon Valley fucking hates him. The national security state despises him. The entire like Democratic establishment despises him. Half the Republican establishment despises him. Like all the bad guys hate him. The WEF hates him. All the bad guys fucking hate Trump at the end of the day. So it's like, you know.
Yeah.
And then and at the same time, like this shit happening to him only serves to further like legitimize him. And I don't know, it's almost as if the libs do it on purpose. Like with Andrew Tate, for instance, in schools in England, they're like, they teach like fucking causes to tell little boys to avoid watching Andrew Tate's video. And it's like, if you're trying to deter young boys from engaging with an internet figure, the worst thing you can do is like have teachers sit them down and give them like the fucking drug talk, fucking after school special about them, because you're just gonna make the mystique around that person more alluring. And it's like, it's as if they're purposefully trying to. It's like a psyop almost, like they're purposefully trying to. Because if they're not, then why else would they be using the most stupid tactics?
I don't know. I don't know. Who else have they got though?
What do you mean?
Like, who are they going to run? Joe Biden?
DeSantis.
No, like on the other side, is it definitely going to be Joe Biden?
Yeah.
Isn't he too old?
Well, yeah, that's what people are saying now. People are speculating that Kamala Harris may be
people already
the
saying he was
person.
too old last election.
Well, people are saying that maybe they won't run him, that it might be Kamala Harris on the Democratic ticket. Let me know, Americans in the chat, who else is
they can't just
running.
go like, look, the PR has been terrible. Like you are not loved.
Dude, even the stuff that happened, happened in Hawaii. He went there, like, you know, this natural disaster happens. He goes there to have his, like, presidential photo op. And he literally goes there and starts talking about how he nearly lost his cat in a fire once, and how, like, his insurance covered it, so everything worked out.
What a tragedy.
Like, you couldn't write this shit. Like, it's not writable. It sounds like it's happening in real life.
It sounds like it would be, like, part of like a mission in GTA or something.
Literally.
Do you know what I mean?
Literally.
Like the president is giving a speech about a natural disaster, and he's so like lacks any kind of candor that he brings up a house fire that he had that was completely covered by house insurance. Like that does sound like a piece of rockstar dialogue.
It does literally sound like
that. Doesn't
dialogue.
Sound like you're describing reality, or I guess it does in the last like.
And then
10
on top
years
of that,
so,
they're like triumphant over this stupid picture. You have all these liberals like, I'm gonna wear this on a t-shirt. Like they've gotten the head. They've put the head on a spike, like in Game of Thrones, of like their fucking enemy.
Oh dear.
It's so like stupid and tribal. I don't see it as a pound of flesh. In fact, this is like a historical PR moment for Donald Trump. And now he's able to cast himself as like a dissident and a rebel and all of those different things. And that's why part of me feels like this shit is on purpose and it's all just a charade. Like I feel so detached from this news cycle and the stories around it. I feel like all of it is just like fake and it's all just like fucking manufactured.
I don't know how much
PR bullshit.
How fake does it need to feel to everybody before nobody cares anymore?
I think once deep fake VR, once like deep fake AI fucking shit starts to really fool people on platforms like TikTok and Twitter.
You just can't trust any
I think that's when people will get to the
he
sort
was a
of
victim of one of the first ones of that, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
But they tried to do that AI picture
of him going to jail
in handcuffs.
Him being wrestled away. Can we find it? We need what's the name of Joe Rogan's guy that he yells at?
Jamie.
Yeah, we need a Jamie.
I'm the Jamie.
You're the Jamie.
Whilst I'm finding this, you go and fill the cup up with drink.
Okay, I'll be back, guys.
What should I even type in? Donald Trump AI arrests. I feel like Bing, don't let me down. You know, speaking of AI, don't let me down, Bing.
Can you talk to it?
No, I would never talk to it anyway. I don't talk to technology because that is a boundary I don't feel comfortable with.
Oh my god.
There's quite a few cringy ones, to be fair. Like this one's pretty cringe.
Oh.
Is this the one that I feel like I saw?
These are the cups that Jake stole from a music festival.
I mean, this one, they haven't got the hands right, so it just doesn't look right at all.
That's the one.
That's the one. Oh, okay.
And there's that one as well. No, not that one.
Look at this one where he's like lying down.
The face.
What is going on?
I can't believe this is what people do with their spare time.
Oh my god.
They'd been fantasizing about it and salivating about it and like, you know, acting as if, I don't know.
Like Trump would be running.
Like he'd be running and he'd be in an orange jumpsuit.
Like he would lose his dignity and be running.
That's what they want.
Trump doesn't do any physical exercise. Look at this man. He's not going to be running for anything, even if he was like, what? There's a belly button in his orange
the fantasies are getting really specific.
It's pretty crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh look, he's trying to escape. He's escaping from jail, and he's even got an orange tie with his orange jumpsuit because he's just so based in prison.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a whole subgenre of like Trump getting like butt fucked in prison. Like
that's not AI. That's just a terrible liberal meme.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're using AI to generate that shit for their like weird.
That's just
pleasure.
a terrible liberal meme.
Yep.
I feel like this was the one I saw where I was like, that looks quite convincing, actually.
There were quite a few of them that did look quite convincing.
That one, the hands are a bit fucky, but I guess it's sort of out of focus to where you sort of...
If you were just sort of scrolling past on social media, you might think it was real.
And that's the problem, I think, as well, though, is that you can be like, oh, isn't it bad with the AI? And it can make you question everything that you know to be true and real in the world. It's like, yeah, but that's also because of the way that you engage with the world, isn't it? It's exactly what you just said. Like, if you're just scrolling on some fucking social media platform, or you see that picture go through on like a TikTok video or something, you're going to be there like, oh shit, yeah, there you go. There's reality.
Yeah.
If you're like actually living in the world and like engaging with people and like the real tangible thing, then like, no, you're not going to be as easily hoodwinked.
No.
But because people spend so much of their time online, they're seeing probably more pictures of people in their day than they are like faces in real life.
They even have these ones that like test how porn sick you are.
Oh, really?
Where you're like scrolling on the timeline and it's like a picture of flowers, but it's done in such a way that it could look like a butt. Or like
is
a
it
pair
like
of
that,
boobs.
or is it like there's like a woman in like with no underwear on, but she's in dungarees or something, like holding some flowers.
It's stuff like that supposed to test how porn
tell
sick
me
you
tell
are.
me the color of the flowers, and then all the men are just like, what flowers? What are you talking about?
Where are the
There's
flowers?
Like a woman on that magazine.
There are no flowers.
There were no flowers. There were nice side boob breasts to be seen coming out of those dungarees. There was no flowers. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, how susceptible are you to being thirst trapped? How susceptible are you to being tricked by AI?
I'm not very.
It depends on how much you scroll, like how much time you spend scrolling.
I'm the most susceptible to food advertising. That is the only advertising that really seems to work with me. Yeah. Like, otherwise,
I wish I could say the same.
Otherwise, I kind of see something, I can see it's an ad, and it makes me instantly disengage with it. It makes me know that you're trying to sell me something.
Yeah.
And that something is probably something I don't need or want or care about, because I haven't thought about it up until this very moment.
That's not true, because I've seen you scrolling through Facebook, and then you get these weird personalized ads for fake products that are like the Akira jacket. Yeah. Or like something nerdy.
They try and suck 'em
that
in.
they think that you would like, because they clearly have all the data.
I know, but then do you know what I would do?
You.
I'm not someone that's going to click on that website and just go and order the Akira jacket. My first instinct when I saw that was to put that into Trustpilot and to see if the
you're
website
a wizard. You're
was
wise.
fucking real or not,
You're
or if it was a
wise.
scam to just take people's money.
You're wise.
And it had a Trustpilot rating of like 20% or something like that. It was piss poor. Yeah. With loads of comments of people being like, never received my stuff. It was like €50. Yeah. Waste of fucking time, waste of money. Don't bother. And you're just like, okay, there you go.
I get targeted a lot of like anti-aging stuff, because it knows that I'm about to cross the threshold of 29 to 30. And it's like, you are going to get wrinkles unless you use X, Y, and you have like this crazy skin routine. So yeah, I get a lot of that. I get a lot, stuff like that, like midlife crisis woman's advertisement, basically.
How much better do you feel like you'd feel about yourself not being on social media, not being engaged with content like that?
I'm not on it a lot anyway, but if I didn't engage with it at all, I think I would feel there would be like a space in my head
space in your head
that like opened up.
There wouldn't be these little moments where you're like, oh, I've got wrinkles.
Yeah, I think I'd be a lot less neurotic, let's say. I think that it definitely feeds into like my neuroticism and like self-doubt and blah 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 blah. So I think that if I cut it out completely, there would be like a big space that opened up. But at the same time, I feel like it's so ubiquitous now that it's like impossible not to get bored and like imbibe and like scroll through stuff. No, I haven't been tricked by any.
I refuse
fake news yet.
I refuse to engage on social media. Like, I don't scroll on it. I post on there when
An offline BF.
There's like a milestone in my life. I've moved house, or I've started a new job, or I've got some music that I've produced that I want to share.
Yeah.
But I'm not scrolling on it.
Yeah.
And none of my spare time is spent on social media.
It's cool having an offline BF. I'm the one who teaches you all the like really online memes.
And then you instantly regret it.
Because then you use them against me.
You taught me about free use the other day.
Oh my God.
I bet you regret that now.
I do regret it now because Jake has been demanding free use.
This is rules we need to implement in the relationship. I'm glad that people are talking about this on the internet and putting this idea, Inception style, into women's heads without me even needing to bring it up. This is absolute genius. Maybe this is actually like the purpose of why Andrew Tate and like people like that want to have so much like influence on the internet.
Why? So that they can subliminally trick women into like being sexually available.
It just brings up a general culture of ideas like this becoming like okay. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, a lot of weird shit's being normalized now.
Because like I don't know, I
feel surprised
how like the way he's been particularly like. As you said, they're like saying specifically about him in school.
Yeah, they made him a martyr. Like the fact that they did this like whole thing. It's like the whole Trump situation as well.
I can't help but feel like he's like totally glowy, like completely.
That's what makes me think. That's what makes me think he's in on it because it's too convenient.
Maybe I'm Sandy Hooking this and just like I'm thinking everything's got an inside job.
You've got the Alex Jones psychosis.
I genuinely like the way that
I do genuinely because they blow
in school
these
curriculums to like mention to not watch Andrew Tate specifically.
Yeah,
which is already a weird psychology tactic to try and use with children because obviously,
especially young men.
Obviously, reverse psychology is the best thing you do with children. So telling them to not go and do something is the fastest way to make them go and Google it and like look it up and like participate in exactly the opposite of what you're just saying. Yeah. So that's already a red flag. And then number two, the way that they've kind of like treated him in the media and even legally as well in Romania through like all these other weird things. I mean, he's like kind of, I don't even, is he going to jail now?
I don't know. Like, there's been some new developments in that. I think that he's been charged.
He got finally charged, didn't he? So I'm not sure if that's going to, if in Romania, like rape or child trafficking or whatever, and not sex trafficking or whatever it was that he actually got arrested for. Like, it just comes up with like a €50 fine and a slap on the wrist. Or like,
who knows
how it works in Romania.
Knows how it works in Romania. But even then, the fact that he's sort of been held up culturally as the epitome of evil in the same way that Trump has, all it does is feed into their cultural capital and like grow their cultural capital. Yeah, but make them seem so much more important and relevant than they are.
That's what I'm saying. They're doing that on purpose to affect like culture in the ways that where like there can be now a random someone that's not associated with Andrew Tate, never has spoken to him in his life, but is proposing meme ideas and ideology like things like free use, which is incredibly, I guess in some ways, like some feminist people I think would not like the idea of free use.
Well, free use is like it's like a sexual meme from the sexual gestalt of the internet, which is always in flux and always like coming up with like new fixations and like fucking weird shit. It's just like a meme in that sense. But in terms of like the actual cultural figures that the internet like embraces, Trump being one of them, like he was sort of the first boomer politician who actually figured out how the power of shit posting, which is what sort of made him so attractive to like elements of the e-right and I think sort of very online.
It took him to break that wall.
Yeah. Like most boomers don't know enough about media to be that savvy, which is why he's like, and that's why this is going to work in his favor.
I think it was
you've just given him like a bad boy James Dean pouty photo shoot. Like
I think it was just him being such an outsider.
Yeah.
Like someone like Jeb Bush would never employ the strategy that Donald Trump used. Yeah. Despite him, even if Donald Trump wasn't running. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was no Donald Trump, but the tactic and the way that he attacked people and fucking just was ruthless and just like was making jokes and essentially memeing on the spot.
Yeah.
Jeb Bush couldn't enact that
No,
strategy.
no, he couldn't.
Not only because he's like
He's, like,
socially awkward, like
autistic.
you know, yeah. Not only because of that, definitely because of that.
I feel sorry for him because I vibe. I understand.
Definitely because of that, but also because he's an insider. Because that strategy would never have even been presented to his table of advisors and all the other fucking people in the way for him to make a decision about what he would actually do to run for president. Yeah. He's in a Bush family, man. He's got a fucking political dynastic legacy
behind him.
Of the
but even
biggest
then,
one
Trump is
possibly
also
still alive in
sort of
America.
an American institution in and of himself.
But an outsider
as well.
still, not politics. And it took him being an outsider to employ a completely outsider strategy. Like, no way, and that's why I feel like in British politics, you have far less of that. Yeah. Because there's way less outsiders. All those people have, you know, in Labour, they've either worked in unions and then gone their way up and been in, like, you know, do you know what I mean? They've, like, had some route to then being an MP in the Tory party, you know, the drill. You went to, like, Eton, you've got mates,
you went to Harrow,
and then, like,
you then went to Oxford or Cambridge.
Yeah, you know, there's an established path for that route. Yeah. So, like, we don't have outsiders.
Yeah,
the closest thing we had to an outsider was someone like Jeremy Corbyn. I hate to sound like that fucking guy again, but like it was someone like Jeremy Corbyn, who like was actually more of just like a general activist and stuff, who then kind of like got involved with local politics, which then led to being involved with larger politics. So which, you know, you'd ask if Jeremy Corbyn would be the leader of the Labour Party in like 2010 or whatever, people would laugh at you. Like he was a nobody MP or whatever. He had a bit of a reputation, but it wasn't like he was a, you know, primed to be the guy.
He was in my borough of Islington, because I was living in Islington at the time.
Exactly.
And he was like this weird old man that would like wear baggy trousers and walk up and down the streets. but what was I saying?
But it takes an outsider to do outsider things and propose different stuff. And having people are just wanting to play and steal different parts of each other's tactics to win different bits of different demographics so that they can kind of get in power. Like, that's the same all over. That's like not different in I feel like in any Western country almost. I feel like that's the predominant way politics is done. And I feel maybe it's kind of different in somewhere like Italy. That feels like it's been quite spicy and it's had some unexpected results. With, isn't it like Mussolini's granddaughter or something is now like the main lady? That's like quite a serious turn. And like I don't think a lot of people outside of Italy would have necessarily looked at those odds on paper and gone, or looked at that information on paper and gone, oh, I'm going to bet on that. Like that feels like it's going to be that they would obviously go for that. Like, you'd feel like that would have like so much like aftertaste that you're just like, let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
But it didn't.
It didn't.
You know.
What was I saying?
The Italian produce is so fresh that there's no aftertaste.
No aftertaste.
So you just like straight in, like, come on, it's only one generation. Let's go.
Oh my god. Would you ever want a mugshot? Have you ever fantasized about having a mugshot of your own? Like your own pouty
like NWA
photo
style, like
Well, wouldn't you try to do like Britney 20
what, and shave my hair off and look like an utter wreck? No,
just like, or like Nicole Richie, that whole like era of mugshots from, you know, the party girl scene of the early 2000s. That's what I imagine when I imagine a mugshot of myself. With like smeared eyeliner.
I'm not sure. I know what you're talking about.
Wait, type in Nicole Richie mugshot.
Oh, Nicole. Oh dear.
This is an iconic mugshot. Yeah, I would try to look like defiant.
She looks like a devious hooer.
A devious hooer.
Let's be quite frank.
Well, how else would you want to look in a mugshot? You'd want to look like a devious hooer. Is this like
the same expression in two different mugshots?
Yeah.
Or is
she coined the face. The chaotic, I'm the Joker.
That is the ultimate BPD like mugshot, isn't it? Let's be honest. How is this looking on stream? Is this big enough? Yeah, you get the picture. You get the picture. That's like that. There's no way you can't see.
It's just like a
how devious
Nicole Richie.
She looks in this.
Yeah, this is when her and Paris Hilton and Britney were hanging out, I think.
And doing bad things.
Yeah,
and what was that
and
doing?
Lindsay
What was doing bad
Lohan as well.
What was even doing bad things?
I don't know,
though?
like flashing your pussy to the paparazzi.
And that was illegal at the time.
I don't know if it
that would have been like
indecent exposure.
That would have been just like a Wednesday these days. It's like not even a big deal.
Yeah, I know. But back then it was scandalous.
Oh my god, she's actually Lionel Richie's daughter.
This was before
That's
we had
crazy.
like Instagram thoughts and like e-girls, and before the advent of OnlyFans moms, we had like party girls, and I miss the era of the celebrity party girl. I wish it would come back.
2007. What a time to be alive.
I know.
Xbox 360, Halo. Oh my god.
Well, are you trying to look at what she was arrested for?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
DUI.
Yeah, something silly like
those
that.
girls drive their own cars.
That's
Let's
what I
be
was thinking.
fucking
You don't
honest.
need to, so why are you
Let's
getting a
be
DUI?
completely real. Those girls do not drive their own cars. I feel like that's bullshit. There's no fucking way. There's zero chance.
The verdict on Trump's mugshot is that it was giving. He was he was serving cunt.
on Trump's mugshot, I don't know if it was giving.
I do. I think he was giving blue steel. Like he was giving the Zoolander like fucking blue steel. I think he was giving. He's serving
I feel
cunt.
like it was rehearsed, and
I think
he's
hose
just
mad.
and he's used it very, very well politically to do the only thing that he can.
Well,
do.
yeah, he's trying to look defiant, and he's trying to look, displeased.
Yeah.
And as if he's not, his displeasure represents like the displeasure.
Oh dear, that sounds like the camera just
Yeah, the camera just
disappeared.
Yeah, 2 seconds, guys. Yeah, he's trying to look defiant, and he's trying to look, like his defiance and anger represents the defiance and anger of like the American public. And he's sort of like trying to become a folk hero. I mean, it sounds like a Johnny Cash song.
I don't know.
He's the president that got booked and went to county jail. And it was like in fucking, where was it? In like, in Atlanta somewhere. It literally sounds like a country song, like a fucking Johnny Cash legend. And yeah, I think they're kind of making a folk hero out of him. And
Who, this ginger fella.
What?
The ginger fella that wrote that country song that everyone's been talking about.
Oh my god, no, not that Rich Men of Richmond thing. I don't know, lots of people.
I haven't even really listened to the song.
I understand.
I feel
people,
like we could definitely do that on stream and give our opinion about it.
I don't really want to because it's like stupid culture war fodder. And I can't be asked to talk about it. But
Mate, that's good content.
I know, which is precisely why I don't want to talk about it.
That's primo content right there, baby.
That's precisely why I don't want to talk about it. But no, like because it's like on one end, the liberals are stupid for being like, this is a fascist anthem. Like Anthony Fantano, of all people, made a video where he was like, this is full of fascist dog whistles and like all of this like silly shit. And then, so like obviously that's silly. But then on the other side, I also feel like it's kind of opportunistic. Like he's trying to look rustic and like use buzzwords in a song to go viral.
You think he's
on
an
political
plant?
stuff. And yeah, and it makes me feel sick because it makes me feel like this is what music is going to become. It's going to become people signaling politically and trying to sort of get attention by touching on these sorts of issues and creating aesthetics around these issues and stuff in order to go viral and like start a music career. And people that you already have like a base of dedicated, passionate fans.
I did hear.
Because like this person is saying all the things that I've been thinking and blah, 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 blah. I don't know.
I did hear that there's some big record deal sorted out.
Of course there is. Of course there is.
And it's sort of like, I don't know. It's that thing of like, is there though? Was that not? Like,
he's a grassroots musician.
Is it a grassroots musician, or was it all set up beforehand? And now
that's what it feels like. It's like shot in 4K in like a forest.
You don't know.
It looks like there was a lot of planning that
you don't
like, went into
know
it.
what to really believe is organic and what's not anymore.
Yeah.
Like I think probably 99% of what you see is probably inorganic. I think one of the only people that are like is truly organic was probably like one of the last people to be truly organic were people like Wolfpack and Mac DeMarco.
Yeah.
Like Mac DeMarco.
I'm sure there'll be people who argue with you on that.
Well, the Mac DeMarco's a fucking industry plant.
Yeah, I don't know if
I
that's
don't
the case
think so, dude.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think the way he conducts himself just kind of shows that he's not.
Yeah, okay.
Like I don't know. He doesn't seem to do any of the same shit that people would typically do if you were an industry plant.
Yeah.
And he had like an album that went really big a long time ago.
Yeah.
But he hasn't had the continual bangers and like made himself form into any kind of formula. Kind of there was back in the day, but since then he's completely broken free of that and he's just fucking making tunes and doing his thing. And he has his personality and people like that, and that's enough.
Yeah.
He's not trying to be bigger than he is. Yeah. And that's like, I think, why I've got more respect for someone like Mac DeMarco.
Yeah.
He didn't do a Kevin Parker.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Don't talk shit on Kevin Parker.
Could have done. He could have done.
He could have started.
When 2 came out and fucking the album after that, Salad Days, he was huge.
Yeah.
He could have definitely gone the fucking like pop producer route and started fucking doing tracks with whoever the fuck.
Yeah, he didn't.
He didn't.
Yeah.
Because he's fucking a normal fucking dude and just a fucking musician and an artist. Yeah. That's why I got fucking respect for him.
All right, stop slobbing on
Kevin Parker.
So leave Kevin Parker alone.
Kevin Parker can suck my dick.
No, dude, you're just jealous.
I will suck Mac DeMarco's dick. That's the fucking way it goes.
Oh my god. Oh gosh. Okay, that's where it was going. What was I saying? Let's move on to our next topic.
Our next topic. Oh, okay. You wanna watch this hot, spicy clip from our biggest favorite truth sayer.
Well, first of all, let's contextualize it. So, there's been all this talk about new variant, electric boogaloo. It's been bubbling, and Alex Jones is basically made a prediction where he's like predicting that COVID is gonna come back and we're all gonna be forced to mask again, and that by Christmas there'll be lockdowns. Well, just watch the clip. Watch the clip. This
whole situation. Listen, when he gets it right, he gets it right.
Let's hear it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got a call yesterday. An individual was in town, and they wanted to meet with me that I know well, and they are a high-level figure in the TSA.
His head's gotten bigger somehow.
I went and met with him. Had a cup of coffee with him.
Sorry.
And
it's because his knowledge is constantly expanding and his brain needs to grow to like contain all of the truth.
He said he had been in the last video clip I saw, he was like ranting about how he had been up to the third heaven and seen the big plan.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, are you practicing like theurgy?
And the clip was like,
and his head just seems
wants to be like a rabid like attack dog for God.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said that like, you know, he's jacked into the system and he's been up to the third heaven and he's seen the big plan. So
saying
I'm like,
some
dude,
David Koresh shit.
He's saying some like some fucking John D shit. Like he's talking in like theurgy terms or whatever. And maybe that's why his head has gotten so big, because he's just like, you know, full of gnosis.
Maybe. I feel like we should stop commenting on Alex's appearance.
Sorry,
that was that was my one criticism about
sorry.
This clip where these guys are like, oh, he's lost his hair. And you're like, fuck off, dude. He's like getting old. Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, he's stressed out as well. They've been coming after him.
Exactly.
Put some
Tuesday, we got called in, the managers.
I like cinnamon on my coffee.
And told that by the middle of September, that the new policy is being written, that this is done. They were told this is happening. This is not hypothetical. You will all have to wear masks again, and so will airport employees.
Come on.
Then by the middle of October, they are going to say that everyone flying has to wear a mask.
No, come on.
And in the meetings, people begin.
Oh God, no! I hate viewing like videos of the nose rape, and I really don't want the nose rape to come back.
Yeah, that was gross.
Oh my God, it makes me like gag thinking about getting my nose fucking violated.
And I said, well, because of the new variant in Canada,
no,
and because of the WHO, they may, declare this, but regardless, we've been told this is going to happen.
So,
regardless of, Alex Jones's statement that he predicts that COVID will be returning, there's also been like reports from China and Russia about the US testing bioweapons.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into that?
That they're linked to these labs in Ukraine, and this was like a bubbling kind of like other topic when the war first broke out. Actually, I've heard this since day one of the war.
Yeah, same.
You know what else is in Ukraine?
Yeah,
labs, such and such labs that are the same as the Wuhan and blah 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 labs.
Blah, 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 blah.
And you're just like, okay, that doesn't sound fun.
But part of what's been
get rid of all those labs.
Part of what's now being said by the Chinese and the Russians is that they believe that America is planning another pandemic, basically. And they were afraid and had been taking precautions because they thought that the virus was engineered to specifically attack Russians and Chinese people, specific ethnic groups or whatever. But the thing is, Alex Jones's schizo ramblings to one side, the fact that like 2 of the world's major nations are now saying we think another pandemic is coming, that kind of does give me pause a little bit. And I hope it's not fucking true.
It's also quite a powerful...
Because I don't want to go through that shit again. Like, I'm still reeling from the last fucking...
I know. But that's also why it is quite a powerful information weapon, isn't it? Even, like, those words being uttered from officials' mouths that represent those countries changes the narrative and changes the story and changes the game and the possibility of what, because it's all completely grey.
Yeah.
Anybody that still feels like they have a really like defiant, like absolute fucking view on what happened during COVID, why it happened, all sorts of other stuff like around it, you're fucking bullshitting. Like nobody has a really clear idea about it still. And like I think that, you know, that is probably going to come around, maybe. Who knows? They could keep things as fucking secret for as long as they fucking want.
Yeah.
They've kind of proven that time and time again.
Yeah.
So, you know, even to this day, I think, like, you know, it was only on, like, Fox News that they, like, admitted that JFK was, like, assassinated by the CIA or something.
Yeah.
And that was in, like, 2022 or something.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not like they can fucking keep something a secret for as long as possible until everybody basically knows the truth, and then someone just says it, and you're like, yeah, but we already know that now. And you're just like, well, what the fuck? You're all pissy about it in the 70s. It's like, well, because we went like that was like directly after. You want to know why. Same in COVID. You want to know why directly after. You're not going to find out in 40 years time, 50 years time. The truth will be there. But literally just fucking, that's the truth could already be there.
But you're not allowed, even journalistically,
and China
you're not
and
allowed
Russia
to
could
ask.
just be placing that information just bang. Like, oh, well, what if they're planning it again?
Yeah.
And you're like, well, what do you mean again?
Yeah.
What do you mean again? Does that mean that the first one was fucking planned? Does that, like, because that brings in all kinds of implications.
Questions and implications,
So, like, it's...
But I hate that it feels like we're living on this razor's edge currently. Like, we're in the secular age right now, but we've never had a more apocalyptic time than ever.
True.
Like, this is probably the most apocalyptic time in history, from the threat of climate change to the threat of nuclear annihilation to the threat of like incompetent governments, civilizational collapse.
The clock is at 1 minute to midnight.
Even the doomsday clock, even though we live in the secular age, the secular scientific age has like a panic about AI, panic about the climate, panic about like our, you know, resources, all of that stuff. And then we also have a doomsday clock, so we even have our own sort of doomsday mythology, secular doomsday fucking mythology. And it feels currently like we're living on this razor's fucking edge, and like anything could happen to sort of tip the world into chaos again. And the fact that like obviously Alex Jones, the whole Alex Jones was right meme has become a thing. And to be honest, like Jimmy Dawes says in that clip, he is more accurate than like MSNBC and like the mainstream news networks, even if you think he's a total kook.
Well, he's more accurate on the kind of big things.
Yeah.
He's made some errors in his time, and he's like endlessly apologized and, you know, gone back on himself for those things that he's gotten wrong. But he has gotten an awful lot of things, big things, right.
But I don't also think that makes him a benevolent actor or anything.
No,
I think he has his own cynicism that he adheres to.
Because of the position that he's in, he's also incredibly likely to be used as a tool for particular other narratives or other things to like be creeped out and ideas to be leaked out in there. Yeah. And so when he says stuff like, I have a contact and I met a guy who told me this, that is probably 100% true.
Yeah.
To Alex Jones, what he's reporting to you is 100% true. That he has someone that's a high up contact at whatever agency, remember that government agency, and that they have leaked this certain information to Alex Jones. And framed it also in a certain way as well. Yeah,
he's probably like a useful idiot in a lot of ways, whereas he leaks. I
wouldn't say he's an idiot. I'd say like he's probably got enough discernment so that like there are people that he has been approached to all the time that like have alternative, you know, glowy agendas of some kind, but he has people that he's maybe trusts or whatever for a long time, and so he trusts those people. But I think the fact is that,
What role does the WEF play? Because he mentions the WEF in the clip.
Well, that's a Western controlled organization. Mm-hmm. That's European and American and private finance and business companies, coming together.
Yeah.
To consolidate power and set an agenda. Mm-hmm. And so that doesn't include, or it does, I think it does include, China and other countries like that, but they're certainly not like a big player in the terms of, because, it's all Klaus Schwab and all his European buddies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so that they're a mechanism, they're like an institutional mechanism of the elite.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, probably these ideas and plan and timescales. It's like a more open Bilderberg, and I've said this for a very long time. The crossover from the WEF and the Bilderberg is quite remarkable, but the WEF is just what they'll allow you to see and what actually they want you to think about what they're doing.
Yeah, big time.
It's sort of like the whole you own nothing and be happy.
Yeah.
This is an idea that they want to leak and want to get out there.
Yeah.
And so they'll have conferences and TED Talk like events and stuff hypothesizing about the good qualities of this future that they've proposed with this idea.
Yeah.
But the actual ways in which they want to implement that are really discussed at something like the Bilderberg or something we probably don't even know the fucking name of. And that's where the fucking plan of like, oh, okay, well, fucking we're going to do this and we're going to have like this thing happen so that we can fucking whatever market manipulation or whatever fucking bullshit. I don't know. That's quite a big conspiracy to say it was all planned. I don't necessarily think COVID was all planned. I think that Trump was not in their plans.
Yeah.
I think that there were certain things that they probably did want to kind of do and get achieved in a certain time frame, and that Trump was not part of that plan.
Yeah.
And that he ruined aspects of it.
Yeah.
And I've heard lots of different weird elements of this idea as well, even around UFO stuff, that actually Hillary Clinton was chosen and
to be the disclosure president.
Yeah, and that it was her turn, and she'd done her time, and she'd done all the things.
Because she had been teasing that shit when she was on her campaign for a long time.
And that and because of the historic, like not historic, but like, Bill Clinton always had the interest in UFOs, all the stuff.
Yeah.
So there's always that connection. She was chosen to be the disclosure president. And then I think...
Then Trump came in and went bang, 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 bang.
I think that... I've heard from some people that Trump was briefed on a lot of the UFO stuff. And that even there was a theory going around that some of the papers that he took
to Mar-a-Lago
were actually to do with some of the UFO stuff. They were like super classified. But to be fair, if you were going to be like, you're a cigar and brandy man, you're Donald Trump. You like to have that room where you're like swinging your dick, showing your like people all your cool stuff.
Yeah.
What cooler fucking thing could you pull out in that moment in time than like an official fucking government document that's like a picture or like a fucking just something that says like we've got aliens or something about aliens. There's no bigger dick swinging move than when you're having well, he doesn't drink though, so that I can't. Maybe I don't know. It's just an ego thing. Yeah, I can imagine that energy just like, being drunk.
Look
and being
what
like,
I got.
Yes. You think that's fucking cool? Look at this
wouldn't
shit.
You though? Like, wouldn't you? I would.
What, take classified documents?
If I was the president of Barbie Land.
Well, these are the interesting things. Because classified, what the fuck is classified? Classified is like for what reason? For what? For national security? What? Because you're worried that like someone's gonna make their own jet. Someone's gonna like. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is fucking classified for what reason?
Yeah.
And that's kind of just to bring it full circle. This is the themes in Oppenheimer I wish that they had have explored more. Yeah. Because what was classified at the time when they were doing something like the Manhattan Project was in the face of a world war, where there was someone that was prepared to essentially spread the glory of like the Reich all over the world until he was stopped. And so like that was... in that context, I understand the need for secrecy. Yeah. And for all of this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
In a kind of like you know, we're facing these things like environmental fucking collapse and like all of these terrible things where it feels like we need to be kind of coming together as like as the earth, as humans on the earth, to get over these things. How is non-socialized technology like a good thing?
A good thing, yeah.
You need socialized technology.
Yeah.
And to have that, you need openness.
Well, that's because our elites aren't really interested in that. They're interested in like cleansing the world of the undesirables and creating Eden for themselves.
But these ideas, like patents for fucking like stuff like this, it all is wrapped up in how people can secure their generational future. Like, you know, it's all the same idea as like advertising. It's like these old models that like were useful at a time in a time in history, or maybe even never. Maybe there could have been socialized technology always, and there was just not a culture to allow it to exist,
flourish.
and it would have been better that way.
Yeah.
But we've inherited this like copyright patent fucking ideology of stuff, which is not compatible with the digital age.
No.
So, you know, we've got to change our archaic feelings around a lot of those things.
Yeah.
Even though they're like the reason why that they wouldn't though is because exactly right. That's like Apple.
Yeah.
That's fucking Microsoft. Like the biggest companies in the world are around patented technologies.
Yeah.
It's all to compete against each other, not to actually make the best thing.
Yeah.
It's to make the best thing to the degree that they can without the actual potential best thing if you looked at all the ideas that are around and put something together. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's
I think back to the COVID thing though, real quick, before we read the chat. I think part of what is also part of the struggle for people to acknowledge is the fact that like their country might be the bad guy, especially like your average American liberal. Like what were we watching the other day where someone was talking about that average American is like just as propagandized as like the average Chinese person, but like Chinese person knows they're being propagandized, whereas Americans just like buy into state propaganda like it's normal, real. And especially American liberals who are so on the side of the national security state, the military industrial complex. They're really bought into this idea that
they
like
got recruited fast.
Yeah, they did. They got recruited pretty quickly. All the psyoping, the social media campaigns, the Coney 2012ification of culture kind of led them down that pipeline unquestionably. And, you know, I think they would really struggle to integrate the notion that their country might be the bad guy, especially during COVID. There was this idea, it's your civic responsibility, even though like we live in this sort of Thatcherite, Reaganite culmination of no such thing as society. No one knows their neighbors. We're all atomized. There was this sort of idea that it's your civic duty to protect your fellow citizens and follow the rules, get vaccinated, wear the mask, do all of the things.
Hey,
you know,
maybe this is like actually part of like this is a repeating part of history, you know. Like this is empires crumbling and falling kind of stuff, right? The British Empire got too far stretched, and it fucking crumbled. From that, like those what was I don't know, like big defining moment that like made the British Empire kind of like crumble, or whatever. And then we have to deal now as a country with the consciousness of colonizing 2/3 of the fucking planet, and like all of the horrible things that were done in the name of that, and to like garner the country's wealth. America had slavery, but I don't feel like it ever really fucking dealt with that really. And it's done it in a really superficial way. And even still in the superficial way it's done it, it's never still made up for the fact of it. And so they've not had their big like moment or thing that they've been caught with their pants down of like, see, that was you. And it's like, well, slavery is like, technically it's kind of the British, and it was kind of all these other people. They kind of started it, and we just kind of then formulated our country, and we were using slaves, but it's not like we started with this whole thing. And it's like, okay, well, you know what? Glowy behavior in the 20th and 21st century, you are wholly fucking responsible for that shit. And if glowy behavior ends up becoming the reason for COVID and the reason for all of these other things, which then in turn fucked up all your markets and then in turn made the entire fucking empire crumble, like it's like history repeating itself. It's the big thing that the USA has to be caught with its pants down, so that it then feels, oh shit, no, we were wholly responsible for that.
But American
and we have to deal with that.
American liberals struggle to integrate that shit. because they are convinced that they're the good guys in the Avengers. They've wholly bought into the Empire's propaganda, the Empire system, even though they think somehow that they're still dissidents. They somehow still think that they're dissidents. They somehow, by some miracle, still think that they're the ones that are like, you know, anti, you know, authoritarian and all of this stuff. Whereas they're like fully inculcated in it. And I think it would really break their brains to have to reconcile that concept of, oh, hey, maybe we're not the fucking good guys. Maybe we're the bad guys.
But I think it's going to be too obvious.
I don't know. I think they're going to do everything in their power to continue to shield. They're going to continue to like try to criminalize people who speak up.
If
and all of this
COVID gets
shit.
revealed as an American product, that is unforgivable.
Yeah.
And like there is if it becomes undeniable, where it's not grey anymore, it's like, no, this factually happened. We got the emails, we got the things, the complete, you know, signals to show us all the evidence that this was a product of American bullshit. Mm-hmm. Like, there's zero way that you can reconcile that other than like actually truly reconciling it. You can't like softly like try and like bullshit around it. Like that's just part of it. You have to deal with that now.
America's the Joker.
And deal with that
it's
guilt
gone
of it.
Joker.
And the way that like we were like, you know, eventually, you know, got caught around and like, yo, pants down, all that colonizing, all that slavery and stuff, that was bad. Yeah. And we're going to start giving people freedom and we're going to start making slavery illegal.
Yeah.
You know, that was essentially like the beginning of the downfall of the British Empire.
Yeah.
But that was us reconciling and dealing with our consciousness in a way. Like Wilberforce, whatever the fuck his name was, can't remember. I'm not a history guy, but I remember some bits. But I think that was his name. He fucking, you know, was the big anti-slavery guy.
Yeah, the abolitionist.
From England.
Yeah.
It was like us manifesting our way of reconciling our consciousness as a nation. Yeah. And America has never done that.
No, they've never done it. They're that's why they're crazy. Americans are actually fucking crazy. And no offense to the Americans in our audience, because I know there's lots of you. We love you, because deep down, Americans are very kind, warm, generous-hearted people. But like the culture is deranged. People are fucking deranged, like really fucking deranged. And you see that derangement come out during elections. It's like a fucking bacchanal.
Yeah, I feel like
all of the worst elements of human nature are just like unleashed.
Keep like a healthy emotional distance
Please,
from any
I
kind
beg
of
you, American
internet
audience,
personality that
just
you find particularly compelling and that you watch often.
Yes.
Because all they'll have to do is say the wrong thing in these times and you'll be like,
oh,
so maybe just don't. Maybe just like, you know,
calm
take
down.
a second.
I'm not getting involved in that fucking fray ever again of like commenting on elections fucking shit.
It's
like,
just nonsense. I don't like commenting on British politics on things, because then you just get snarky people like, oh, well, you won't vote for Labour? Then that means you want the Conservatives then, doesn't it? And you're like, no, it doesn't. But like, you're all shit and I'm not going to be motivated by anything unless you show me a reason to be. Yeah. And, you know, I think that's fair enough. I don't have to fucking participate. No. I feel like most people need to realize that. You don't have to participate. Yeah. And if enough people don't participate, especially in this country, statistically, it's just null and void. Yeah. I feel like that would force a whole conversation and renaissance in politics in the modern day of like what it means to have a representative. Like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a whole way that you like. I don't know, man. I hate to get on my Jake rants.
I know you're about to get on a soapbox.
I'm about to mention Timothy Leary and get all into it, but it's
oh
like,
my
you know
god,
what I mean?
Oh my god.
People have had these ideas for fucking ages.
Here we go. He's gonna start.
It's not. For
he's
fucking,
on one.
You know,
he's on one. He's on one.
People have had these ideas for fucking ages.
He smoked a lot of weed, and now he fancies going on a stoner route about how to rethink democracy.
Not at all.
Strap in, guys. I'm joking.
Not at all. I feel like we've all had those fucking thoughts, though. It's not a new idea. People have been having those thoughts for 50 fucking years.
I know, but
more.
I don't understand how we keep doing this. Like how Americans, I can understand why Americans are crazy, because every 4 years they have to go through this shit. And it's ridiculous. Like, have you ever seen in America, because I lived in America, the campaign ads there, even just for like state office, are insane. It really looks like something out of GTA.
Like,
but in real life. And we don't have that kind of political culture in England. So I don't think you understand the level of derangement until you've lived in America and you've seen
or even
the
the kind of
level
just
of
negative
fucking
ads that they would show of like, I think there was
but
there
it's
was
like cartoonishly negative. It's like
there was a
really
negative
funny.
ad that Labour run of Rishi Sunak that was
And then they get accused of being
Rishi
racist.
Sunak's not hard. It wasn't this phrasing, definitely not. Obviously,
He's not hard.
He's not hard on paedophiles.
Is that what they did? Is that
Or like on child sexual abusers or something like this.
Yeah.
And there was like a picture of Rishi Sunak smiling with a shit-eating grin, being like, Rishi Sunak is easy on, like, you know, child molesters or whatever.
Oh my god, that's like
And it's just
we're
like-
becoming more like America in that
That's
case.
what everybody was saying. Everybody was like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, dude, what
That's
are you
way-
doing?
that's way
this
out
is
of line."
completely fucking
Yeah.
unacceptable.
But that's
this
what I'm
is
saying.
not how we
our
do
political
things
culture
here."
is it's not that our political culture isn't chaotic in its own way. Like watch anything in the House of Parliament. It's literally like
No, but then you have all the
insane.
Blairite fuckers.
But there's still some level of decorum and detachment. Whereas Americans are fucking emotionally invested and everyone's out with their id. And it's just like, dude, I can't deal with it.
Because
it's just too much.
The point
It's
is,
too much for my little soft heart.
I think still the principle of English politics is correct. Okay,
The
Is that if
detachment
you,
and
no,
decorum.
not detachment and decorum. That if you are running attack ads, it's because you don't have anything positive to say. It's because you don't actually have anything, an idea or something that's going to win people over and actually compel them to want to be on your side and support you. That is why you are trying to tear down the other team,
But it's just
and make them
standard
look
praxis.
like fucking they're friendly with paedophiles. Like, that's, I don't know, dude.
Oh my god. This politician, Ron DeSantis, is friendly with pedos.
The point is, you should be able to go there and go, "Hey, I've got this fucking idea to fucking take
But
back
it's just
the
that's,
railways."
that's what is
Or
that is
any-
what politics is.
Pick one
That is-
fucking issue which everybody
No, that is
unanimously is
what-
pissed off about
that's
in this
what
country.
politics is now,
And go,
is
"Look,
the-
I've got a fully funded
no.
way to fucking
That's what
solve this
politics-
issue."
Dude, that's what politics is now. It's accusing the other side of being a pedo, of like mudslinging to the lowest common denominator. Like that is literally what it is. And the England was a little bit more like elevated than that.
No, there's
But, like-
certain people that conduct themselves in a certain way, and there was, I would say,
Yeah.
even, I know this is going to be not loved by everybody, but I would say Bernie Sanders, to a point in time, was also like that. He could go on Joe Rogan and not spend 2 hours literally chatting
Slagging
shit
everyone
about
off, yeah.
Hillary Clinton, how everyone's
I know, I
planning
think-
against
I
him.
think it is
he
funny.
can sit there for 2 hours and talk about
Like, I
actual
think-
ideas and ways
Yeah.
and mechanisms in which you
But I
would
still-
tax
I
certain
still think
things
it's funny.
and refund certain other projects in government.
I still think well he ended up being a fucking shill
I
anyway.
know, so I said to a certain time.
But even then, what was I saying? I still think it's funny when Trump slags everyone off though. Like that's his whole thing is he slags people off.
It's funny.
And, like, it's funny
and
when he slags
certainly-
people off.
It's certainly, but I think like.
But I don't think you should just slag people off like the whole time. But sometimes you got to slag someone
I
off.
think the
like-
point is that Trump was hollow, but people thought he was enough of an outsider to give him a chance, and that he's still enough of an outsider compared to whatever else they're going to fucking dish up for them.
Yeah.
He's enough of an outsider even compared to that stuff
Yeah.
to still think that he's going to be more truthful and honest about whatever situation America's in
Yeah.
than anybody else.
Yeah.
Which is his only thing going now.
Yeah.
He's also someone that couldn't sit down for 2 hours and give you any details of any idea or any mechanism that he's thought about to do or shift or change
But he's got
anything
slogans.
meaningful.
He's got slogans.
He's got slogans and he's got ways of
and
cutting
he
people down,
so
which
happens
are funny.
to kind of be becoming a folk hero. He's gone to county jail. They're gonna write Johnny Cash songs
Yeah,
about him.
if there was
He
a
also
Johnny
seems
Cash-
to be. He's also hated by all the bad guys like Silicon Valley and like the deep state and shit. So like even though he's like not, he doesn't have any substance per se. It's almost like he's being carried along on a current in a way.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like that's the only thing going for him, and what people need and what people want. Maybe I don't know if they want it. Actually, maybe they want the spectacle. Maybe they want spectacle like fucking idiocracy, which is essentially what you're getting with Trump, and then maybe the Democrats will finally cave and be like, we need to have a fucking Trump, and then they'll
But they will. I can't wait for a Democrat Trump.
Homunculus fucking liberal Trump, and it will be absolutely terrifying.
DNC Trump versus RNC Trump. Oh my God, that would be the best cage match ever.
So
that'd be so cool.
But what I think that people need, what politics needs, is actually to kind of take it back a couple of decades and to make it a little bit more BBC in the 60s. And everybody's in a suit. Everybody's got an allotted time. Yeah. Everybody needs to explain, their ideas, what Jake they stand for, their policies, trying to articulate something.
Make England great again.
No.
And also make us the power to dominate, because our culture is just that much more
you gotta have a
official and better.
You gotta have a bit
there's detachment, there's decorum.
You gotta have a bit of respect in the political realm. But I feel
what
like
we're saying is that
Trump
English
has pushed
people,
the Overton window, or whatever the fucking window would be for politics, to the point where you could never have that anymore. And I think that's what a lot of people are incredibly resentful and hate Donald Trump for.
Dude, everything, it's just, but it's not the white.
Which I understand.
Biden is
I
just
do understand
as guilty.
that feeling.
Dude, Biden is just as guilty. He's always fucking falling around everywhere. He's embarrassing himself. He's saying awful things. And there was a trans person who took their tits out on the White House lawn. The whole thing is just cartoonish, and they're all cartoonish and ridiculous.
In protests or just in celebration?
No, in celebration, because he had invited a bunch of them to come over to the White House for some reason. One of them took their tits out, and obviously,
in celebration.
I don't know. They just took their tits out, and obviously it caused an uproar because people were like, "This is the White House. Why is there someone with their tits out?" And the whole thing is just a fucking carnival. It's a farce. It's all just fucking
but
crazy.
That's why I feel
Trump's not the only one who's guilty of being ridiculous.
It's gonna take something to completely shake it up, and not just electing a game show host. It's gonna take something to shake it up, and I feel like that could be, in
Kanye West,
in a realistic, more real world, less fun way of looking at the world thing. It could be something like the election happens and nobody votes. Something as drastic and is literally a almost novel.
That will never, dude. That will
idea.
Never happen in America. I think that's more likely to happen here because people are a lot more jaded and apathetic about politics here. We have that post-Soviet, post-empire vibe here, so people are a lot more cynical. Americans are fucking animated and jacked up on caffeine and Adderall and fucking social media, Monster Energy drinks and social media outrage.
Yeah,
they're fucking great. They're the fucking possum that you find in your garbage can at 3 a.m. Americans live for this fucking shit.
Okay, all the more fun way of looking at it. All the more fun way of looking at the world. They fucking
live for it. I don't think they're gonna drop this shit anytime soon.
Or the more fun way of looking at the world. The other big thing that could happen, obviously, that's on the tip of everyone's tongue and is potentially happening before our very eyes at the moment, is the unveiling of all this UFO shit and all the kind of glowy, fucking dodgy, crazy lying,
black budgets
shit that just makes everybody completely fucking lose faith. Even if there's not aliens, but there's all this crazy lying and manufacturing of fucking narratives and bullshit to fucking funnel money to certain people's fucking ideas or whatever bullshit it is. Yeah. I think people would just fucking give up and be like, this has shown that you're all just children. Pilfering and stealing for your own fucking bullshit. And it has nothing to do with fucking protecting America or doing anything in the name of anything just and honorable. It is purely on the basis of fucking glowy bullshit. And we don't want to fucking support any of that anymore. And maybe then the next election you'll get nobody voting. Or they'll just tear it all fucking down and it'll be January 7th. Or it would be
one giant January 7th.
It would be the day after, it would be January 7th and
everyone wears their QAnon shaman helmet.
It would be like the scene in V for Vendetta. Everybody shows up to the White House.
QAnon shaman helmets. It's V for Vendetta. Everyone's already the QAnon shaman has taken over the broadcast of the entire fucking nation. He's on every screen.
He's using the emergency broadcast system
He's on every screen to be based.
And call out Nancy Pelosi.
Oh my God. I would love that. That sounds wonderful. But,
I feel but do you know what I mean? It's going to take some sort of big event some sort of revealing of a big thing.
You sound like Ozymandias right now from Watchmen.
Well, maybe he's a little bit
Oh
right.
my God.
Maybe Ozymandias has a little bit of a point, although I am fully team comedian all the way.
Oh my God.
Like,
you have the
Ozymandias had
tattoo.
a point.
Show off
Why do you want me
ink.
to show off my tattoo?
Why
It looks
not?
silly.
It doesn't look silly. Show
I
everyone
don't think it
your
looks silly. I think it looks
show
good,
everyone your
but
Watchmen tattoo that
yeah.
you got when you were 18.
You can't really see the color properly because of the lights, but it has the little blood guy up on the bit.
It's like a young Alan Moore. Look at him.
Well, Watchmen was my favorite comic when I was 18, and to be honest, I don't regret it. It's still a beyond phenomenal piece of fiction to read.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's Spider-Man, is it? You know,
No one's making fun of you. Why are you so defensive?
I'm not a fucking grown-up with a child's superhero
Why are
tattooed
you
on me anywhere.
Why are you so defensive?
Which there are plenty of adults that have that.
Why are you so defensive? I think it's cool.
No, you don't. You always rip on me for my tattoo.
Oh my
You're
God,
like,
I'm joking.
It's this smiley face. I have to stare at it when I'm fucking riding you.
Oh my
It's
God.
weird.
Well, it's a bit weird to like look at a bloody smiley face, but I'm used to it now. It's been like how many years, whatever. But I'm also jealous because I don't have a tattoo.
Well,
so
we live in the land of
projecting.
tattoos for London, so we've got to get you a tattoo.
No, all the
whilst we live
tattoo
here.
shops in Camden look like fucking.
We don't have
like
to go
I
to
get
the one-
hepatitis, and I don't want to get hepatitis.
We don't have to go to the one that's above the dessert shop that sells the waffle pops or whatever they're called.
But that's what I'm saying. So many of the tattoo places in Camden are either like above like an ice cream shop or what, and I really just don't want to
There's
get
some
like
proper ones.
hepatitis.
There's some proper ones.
There's some. If anyone knows of any good ones in Camden,
We'll take you.
tell me
We'll take you to
in
a
the
good one.
comments.
We'll take you to a good one. Let's check the chat before.
I really
we
do want
sign off for the
to.
evening.
I really do want to get a tattoo. I feel like it's about time.
Everyone's just commenting on how cool I look, which is
What?
very
Why?
much
Why?
appreciated,
Why
guys.
is Jake the one?
Thank
Okay,
you.
I need to bring vibes next episode.
Yeah,
clearly, I need
clearly.
to like wear better makeup, wear a better outfit, like fucking do something to steal.
You gotta
steal
show
the
up, dude.
valor. I do.
You gotta show up.
I thought the Joy Division shirt, the clean girl makeup might be enough, but clearly not.
Maybe the leprechaun Richmond rich man dude is AI generated. I mean, he does hit a lot. He does hit a lot of boxes, which makes you wonder and makes you question the truth.
He hits a lot of demographic boxes, so I think maybe the rich man of Richmond guy is AI generated. That's a theory, a film theory.
Here we go. Jake looks like he has an amazing deal that he's just waiting to sell you on. That is true. I've got some amazing truth I'm trying to fucking sell you on, brother.
Dude, you
How
look
about
like
that?
you're in Uncut Gems. Like you look like
That's cool.
You
I'm
got like an
absolutely fine
Uncut
with
Gems
that.
vibe. I need to bring a vibe. I really do. I need to bring a fucking vibe. I'm not serving today, and I'm feeling sad about it.
Kamala Harris has the chance to disclose the funniest thing of all time.
And what is that?
I'm not sure. He didn't. He
He
didn't
didn't follow up. Is it a racial thing? Is it a sex thing?
If we were made to reconcile for our past and atone for the bomb, I think it would literally undo all of us. Well, that's the point, dude. I think the British psyche probably changed a hell of a lot from the fucking 1890s, 1880s and shit to like the 1980s.
Yeah.
It radically changed.
Radically.
And its power's shifting. And that's literally what we're kind of seeing before our eyes with BRICS and this division at the moment with it's no longer a unipolar world. This is literally the creation of new power structures in the world. And so like that is, that I feel like is just part of shifting patterns of power.
Yeah.
And America's time is kind of on the wall. A lot of people have been saying this for a very long time. This is not a novel idea.
No.
And it's going to take the undoing of people to like to reconcile that stuff. That's kind of the point. I don't think even England has done, or the UK has done, a fully great job with it.
Yeah.
We still have a pretty terrible attitude to all sorts of fucking things around it.
Yep.
So and we're 200 years beyond now. So
yeah. But we also have stuff like Notting Hill Carnival, which just happened.
We do, which
we
I
have
do,
interracial
which
couples on the rise.
I don't participate in. I'm not rowdy enough.
Oh
for that,
wow!
okay?
I was just celebrating interracial couples, and Jake's just called the blacks rowdy.
Well, there's always a lot of,
I see where I
like,
stand.
I'm just saying, every time I've been there, there's just a lot of drunk people everywhere.
Yeah.
And there is like a really edgy feeling.
Well, it's because a lot of them aren't actual Londoners from Notting Hill. They're people who are coming from all over England
to do crimes and fight each other and do bad things.
Stupid
Just
shit.
like the fair
It's not
when
what it used
I
to
was
be.
a boy in town, all the gypsies would come, and then all the lads from Aylesbury would come in, and they would like
There'd
try
be
and fight the
fights.
gypsies.
Oh my God.
Like, do you know what I mean? It's just like ridiculous.
Oh my God.
And Notting Hill Carnival has the same energy, but like in a way that people are going to get seriously hurt. And then every year,
Something
undoubtedly,
stupid happens.
I'll check the news tomorrow, and like I 100% guarantee you, someone's been stabbed or there's been some sort of scuffle of some kind, for sure. No one can just have a nice time and fucking get on with each other.
Well, it's because no one's
like,
embedded in those communities anymore, so it's just kind of
Exactly.
like
It's just-
become Glastonbury.
It's just an excuse to eat
2.0.
jerk chicken for the weekend, and I live down the road from a jerk chicken shop now, so I don't need the excuse of Notting Hill Carnival to eat jerk chicken.
That jerk chicken shop is dangerous because it's just like there and it's cheap.
The
and
only
it's
excuse I need
convenient.
is
It's
I don't
so
want to
good.
cook tonight, so I'll go and get some jerk chicken. I don't need to like fake celebrate the Caribbean to do so. Listen to terrible fucking Afrobeat for 3 days straight.
Yeah.
Like, no thanks. I'm good.
Comment.
Miss me on that.
all right. Jesus Christ.
If I feel like a lot of that is online though. Most average Americans think that crazy stuff is just crazy.
Well, I hope so, but it doesn't seem so, because even when I lived there, public life was contentious around elections, and discussing them would often lead to quarrels and like social upheaval and things. So yeah, I think a lot of it is online for sure, but I think that stuff tends to bleed into real life as well. And I think that people are slightly more animated about politics in America than in other parts of the world, especially in Europe. Yeah.
I mean, it is funny. We are this dumb and vapid, but for real, there are people out there who interpret British politics and their systems through the lens of V for Vendetta. Well, it's like, especially I feel like people have a more of an excuse to view politics in that way post-COVID than any time in history, because that is like the basis of V for Vendetta, was that this horrible virus came out and they had to do all of these terrible fascistic things to try in the name of trying to quell this virus, which then, surprise surprise, turns out to be a completely government fucking manufactured event in which they did to enact all the horrible things that they really wanted to do all along. And maybe that doesn't become like killing gay people in the street like it did in V for Vendetta, and it's so obviously like heinous like it would have been in like World War II, but it's things like controlling financial systems in such a way that small and local businesses no longer can compete and have a chance, and that actually everything is consolidated into major corporations and stuff like that.
Or eating people out of the financial system for transgressing against government edicts.
Yeah.
Shutting people's bank accounts down.
It's different
prohibiting
kinds
them
of,
from gathering and protesting, all of those sorts
it's
of
different
things.
kinds of, and so they'll plaster all of the rainbow flags to be like, see, we're not the ones, we're the good ones, we're not the fascists,
we're on the
like,
sides
we're doing good things. Like they're actually scheming and planning this cyberpunk fucking universe to completely fuck all sense of humanity out of reality. Yeah. And everyone's gonna cheer along.
Yeah, the Archons are closing in, guys. It's time to get serious about your fucking gnosis. Now more than ever.
The Kamala Harris comment was talking about was while you guys were talking about UFO disclosure. Why would it be hilarious? Why is it the funniest thing of all time though?
Yeah, that would be it would be because of her personality and how like wacky she is and weird.
Because of what? Of like the idea of her giving the speech.
Yeah, like it would be hilarious.
That would be the funniest thing of all time.
The first powerful black woman president of Barbie Land.
And they stitch her up by like making her admit all this horrible glowy stuff and like murdering people to like keep it secret and everything. Like,
no, she would just like kick the Ken in the chest. To be fair,
she's got the biggest glowy kind of background.
She does. She's like a prosecutor.
So maybe she's well suited to deliver this kind
Quite
of news.
possibly. Well, no, I want her to be the president of Barbie Land. I want her to kick the Kens in the chest like in 300 and be like, this is Barbie Land.
Mallory is Marla from Discord, by the way.
Hi, Mallory.
Comments from.
Hello, Mallory.
Because we have the First Amendment, I mean, we take that seriously because it does afford us many protections, unlike Canada or UK. Yeah, people say that, but like, what do you mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, people still got their bank accounts shut down in fucking America for saying the wrong stuff. That happened to Alex Jones. It's happened to loads of other people.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that happened to Trump as well. So like,
not Trump. It was no. It was when Kanye did his thing. And
it was Kanye.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, they shut his bank account down.
All they need is a fucking excuse, dude. Like, it's not like just because it's written on a fucking piece of paper that they're going to play by those rules.
No.
They'll play by whatever
People
rules
seldom
they want.
surrender power once they've gained it. Like,
And
that's
the
like a
idea
historical
that,
lesson.
The UK doesn't have a one document that's been amended a shitload of times that's like the rules for the country. We have like a whole bunch of different things, but different bits of paper, which kind of makes up the Constitution, but it's not a single thing, which is where I think the kind of buzzword of like, the UK doesn't have a Constitution, so they have no freedom of speech is like, nowhere is it written
I didn't want it to turn into an America Britain dick swinging
it's not a Britain
contest.
dick swinging contest, but it's just like that's
Jesus
one of
Christ.
those political points I hear brought up all the time.
Right,
I just want
right.
to correct that for people because it's like not the case.
They're trying to humble
We got
us
free speech
because
over
we're
here.
a tiny irrelevant island.
They've
so,
even
like,
got
you
free
know.
speech in Canada, but there's just like the same kind of free speech you've got. They fucking shut people's bank accounts. They did all sorts of shit when people weren't saying the things that they wanted them to say.
Yeah.
They got the same fucking freedoms as everybody else.
As everyone else.
Like, it's not that you've got it enshrined because it's written in some fucking piece of paper.
How many times has the
Constitution?
Constitution? This is what I mean by Americans just fucking believe in the fucking state propaganda, whereas Chinese people like know that it's like fucking propaganda. But you can't tell them that because they really do. I don't know. The idea of America and the American Republic is a beautiful one, which is the reason why. And I think it's difficult to critique.
Knack for that. In with another good comment, always with the good comments, this fella or person. My SJW friend called me yesterday and said, "Friend, I think I was brainwashed. Now I can't unsee it. Hoping this is a harbinger of good things to come here in the USA." That's fantastic. That's really great if that really happened. And it's not just for internet updates. Like, that's great if true.
Big if true.
If you meet more people that are feeling like that, tell them to read Prometheus Rising by Robert Anton Wilson. Like, I feel like anybody that's on the edge of like, oh, have I been brainwashed?
Have I been
about
psyoped?
to question my entire worldview and reality and what I think is true. Like, they should read that book. That's a really
that's a good little guide.
A great book to
and
deal
lots
with
of
those
good mental
sorts of things.
exercises in it as well. But yeah, anything else before we round
the
out?
wheels on the UFO go round and round. From Adam. Yeah, well, that I agree with, like, the Magna Carta. Yeah, exactly, bro. There you go. You get it. So it's not like, it's not like...
okay,
we made the point.
The dicks have been sheathed for the evening. They need to be sheathed
Well,
now.
they can't be sheathed in America because they chop off the ends of all their dicks, don't they?
They get circumcised.
They're big on the circumcision out
Whereas
there.
we're uncircumcised heathens on this side of the pond.
Natural Europeans. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I can say that with these glasses and it has an extra tinge of like steez and sleaziness. It just works.
Now you all know that Jake's cock is uncircumcised.
Oh, cute. Marla's painting UFOs and being stoned. While
Oh, amazing. I want to do that. I want to get like some glow in the dark paint and paint UFOs as well. What a great idea.
Yes, this really did happen. Good. Encourage it. Hopefully we see more people questioning their realities and like being like, am I brainwashed?
Yeah.
Because I feel like everybody should think that all the time. And I feel like hopefully that's the impression you get on this podcast is that we're constantly questioning if something is even real or not.
Yeah.
Because honestly,
I don't know anymore.
Nobody fucking knows.
I don't know.
Nobody fucking knows what's a plant, what's trying to, just a piece of information trying to make you feel a certain way.
And I'm somewhat emotionally detached. So sorry if I don't give you your like libidinal hits by being like raging. I don't want to give emotion to shit that's like not real.
We're just bantering about it.
Yeah, just bantering.
Just a couple of normal folks bantering about
Exactly.
the predicament of not knowing what anything is anymore and what is real or not.
Exactly.
And if the entire world's on the precipice of like massive, incredible, revolutionary like truth bombs.
Well, we still have to go to work tomorrow anyway. So that's the litmus test for whether or not a story is like really important and worth like getting animated over. Is like, do I still have to go to work tomorrow?
You do, which is why we're trying to wrap up the podcast, which is fair
We
enough.
need a better sign off, like something snappy, like that's just a theory, a film theory. But we need like our version of that.
Whose was that? Whose sign off did
Film
you just steal?
theory, isn't that the name of that channel or whatever?
Oh,
from
yeah.
a long
yeah.
time ago.
That was one of your classic Angie old school YouTube channels
Yeah.
you watched a lot for a long
yeah,
time.
don't make fun of me.
I don't know what a sign off would be.
Goodbye,
You go,
Mystics.
this is Mystic and this is the Machine.
No,
this has been
no.
Mystic and the Machine.
No. You said I'm not allowed to say like, subscribe, Patreon, because that's
People
like
do those
lowbrow.
things if they like and want to hear more, won't
Well,
they?
do those things because it helps us out. And then we can afford more fancy things for the set. Look, we've got like a new backdrop. We have a ring light now.
Now I need to get anti-reflective lenses on my glasses so that I don't have to position my head in a specific way.
That's
so
what we're
that
going to spend
I
the Patreon
always
money
look
on.
based and I don't look like I've got shit in my glasses.
That's what we're going to spend the Patreon money on is anti-reflective glasses for Jake. Well, no, a new camera probably, because it's a lofty goal, but that's like where we want to get to is we're new camera.
Get the double camera setup.
Yeah.
Be like literally like a.
The full like.
Do you think Drake will come on our podcast once we
I
get
would
the double camera
love
setup?
if only I was an industry plant and I could get Drake to come on my podcast. What would we even talk to him about? I would want to know like the Illuminati like schizo Hollywood secrets.
I would just be honest with him.
And tell him his music is shit.
I just be like, I gotta be honest, bro. I think you're very overrated. Like, I think you're very overrated. Like, do you make that music yourself?
That'd be
Or,
the best podcast ever. It's just Jake inviting pop stars onto his show and like ripping into them and just being like, "You're shit."
I feel like
your
that would
music
be, that
is
would
fucking
be
shit.
That would be really funny and really good.
Yeah, yeah.
And like very Eric Andre. If all the managers and all the people involved booking those artists would like completely keep it straight and be like, no, this is a great interview. They're gonna hype you up. He loves you. This is awesome. And I get there. I'm just like
rip into their self-esteem.
I think
well, no, you
your
know who
last
did
album was
that?
Utterly terrible.
You know who did that? Simon Amstel.
He did.
On Nevermind the Buzzcocks.
Exactly.
Non-UK people won't know that, but he's like a UK comedian, and that was like his whole shtick is that American pop stars would come onto his show and he would like destroy their self-esteem.
I haven't had the new idea.
And you would get, and it's like very British sense of humor because we have very cruel, mean-spirited sense of humor on these aisles. And he would just like destroy their self-esteem and like get their real reaction. I think he made like Britney cry or whatever, but now he's like a Buddhist and like has renounced his trickster ways, which I think is a shame.
What a pussy.
Because I think he would be perfect for a time such as this. No one's like that like willing to take risks. Everyone's like licking each other's ass for clout. But I think it'd be hilarious for something like that to exist.
Risks make number go down.
Yeah.
It's kind of as simple as that,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
I mean, say something advertisers don't like, number go down.
Yeah. Not just that risk pissing someone off. And then you've alienated their followers and their potential market share and number go down or whatever. It's like, it's like this weird gamification.
Our whole existence is to make number go up. If not for yourself, but also for company you work for.
Yeah.
If company you work for have number go down, you are in jeopardy and in dire peril because you maybe lose your job.
Yeah.
Like, it's as simple as that.
Number go up.
Human nature and its very existence literally is rounded up in that way.
Make our number go up too then by liking and subscribing to the Patreon. Well, anyway, folks.
Check out D's numbers. Let's make them go up.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, it was lovely to talk to you guys this evening, and we shall catch you again next week. We are going to have an interesting episode next week with a guest. And then after that, I actually want to do some like world news stuff because I want to talk about stuff going on in Africa right now. Probably be interesting to talk about Russia, Ukraine, China, the whole BRICS thing. We haven't had an international sort of episode yet, so it might be fun to do that. But anyway,